Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Stews here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be reviewing Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the second installment in the Planet of the Apes trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and it came out in the year 2014. Yes, 10 years ago from now, and it's directed by Matt Reeves, the same director as War for Planet of the Apes. Cloverfield, which was his directorial debut, and the Batman, which is probably his most popular film, and it stars Andy Serkis, Jason Clarke, Gary Oldman, Kerry Russell, Toby Kebbell, Cody Smith McPhee, Judy Greer, Nick Thurston, Terry Notary, Karen Konoval, etc. And so this movie tells a story of this simian flu that has infected San Francisco. It takes place at 10 years after the events of the first of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and pretty much all the characters, including Will himself, have been wiped out have been killed by this virus, and now there are only very few people in the population of San Francisco, and they're pretty much struggling to stay alive. They have they have their own base now to protect themselves, and the leader of the base is Gary Oldman's character Dreyfus, and then a family who consists of Malcolm, Jason Clarke's character, Ellie, Kerry Russell's character, and Alexander, Cody Smith McPhee's character, pretty much head on to the forest where the apes live in order to generate that power from there. But then the apes now living in that forest pretty much hate humans, and they try to make sure that their community stays afloat. So yeah, every time humans would come into the forest to quote unquote intrude, Caesar and the apes will do everything they can to get the humans out without harming them, because they now believe that the humans are evil, that the humans are their threat, and so they must protect themselves from the humans, or that's what they think. But as the apes discover Malcolm and his family, they start to realize that they're actually good people, that maybe not so all humans are bad. But then we get Koba on the other hand, who believes that humans are evil, and he literally wants to he wants to kill all humans. But when when Koba sees that Caesar is actually starting to trust the family, he starts to think that Caesar has lost his way, thinking that Caesar actually trusts humans, and a jealous Koba goes on a rampage to literally start a war with the humans, and pretty much get revenge on them for what they did to him in the previous film. And yeah, so now it's up to Caesar to end this war and convince apes that humans are not all bad. So yeah, guys, now, yeah, no joke when I say this, guys, but Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was actually my introduction to the franchise. Yes, even over Rise and the 1960s version. And yes, guys, I saw this movie before Rise. So it pretty much started in 2015. Yes, a year after this movie came out. When I actually started watching it, I actually heard of this movie already when it came out. I saw a poster of this movie in theaters, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they played this trailer in front of How to Train Your Dragon 2. It was I was like, I didn't think that this movie would be my cup of tea. But fast forward a year after this movie's release, thanks to the channel HBO, back when cable were a thing, but back before streaming services never existed before, HBO's channel on the TV cable played this movie, and then out of nowhere I just watched it, and then my mom came into the room and was like, "Oh, you're watching this? Oh, Dawn of the Planet this? Oh, you're gonna love that movie." But And damn, I was sucked in this movie. I was so floored by it. And yes, guys, I loved it back then. The first time, I was so sucked into it, and so yeah, and I even started hyping myself up for War for the Planet of the Apes. That's when I checked out the original films and Rise for the first time. Although it took like a couple of months later when I started checking out Rise Rise of the Planet of the Apes for the first time, because I saw Rise for the first time in a plane. Yeah, on the TV. That was when I first watched it, and yeah, so yeah, I so if there is a Planet of the Apes film that I had nostalgia for, it's this film right here. And yes, guys, this year this Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. So yeah, happy 10th anniversary to the sequel right here. So yeah, just a quick brief summary of my thoughts on the rest of the Planet of the Apes. It's probably the one film in the trilogy that I wouldn't consider perfect, but it's still an excellent film regardless. It's still a brilliant film, a brilliant start to one of the top 10 greatest trilogies of all time. And I mean, wrap the butt. Everyone knows this movie's better. I'm just gonna straight up say it. This movie's better. Now, for the longest time, I've been going back and forth to when it comes to debating on which movie I think is better, Rise or War for the Planet of the Apes. There are times, like, for a long time, I said Dawn was better. When I came out of the theater watching Dawn, when I came out of the theater from my showing of War for the Planet of the Apes, I said that I prefer Dawn. Like, I was like, yeah, it's good, but yeah, but at the time, well, actually, you know what? I'll talk more about that in my War for the Planet of the Apes review. I'll save that. But I'll say I said Dawn is better. And then one time this decade, I said War. I put War over this one, but now upon this rewatch, I jumped into the conclusion that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the better. Now, yes, it is the popular opinion in saying that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the best Planet of the Apes movie. I know War is more well received by critics, but I hear more people say this is better. And I will admit though, even like back then when I said Dawn was my favorite, that I preferred it over War, I did not think that it was the popular opinion. It would actually be mostly agreed on that Dawn is the better one, because I thought everybody said War is better, but no, I mean, I didn't think that I was on the popular side. So I guess it shows that I like to be different instead of just being the popular side and copying reviews. And that's the beauty of opinions. You don't always, I mean, if you have the popular opinion, that means you just see the same way as the popular opinions do. Yeah. But now let's get into my details on why I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the best in the trilogy. Planet of the Apes film for now, though I still think that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes could top it. But yeah, let's see. Now I just want to point out first that my Letterboxd review that I wrote last night is probably one of the best Letterboxd reviews I've ever written. And yeah, one of the Letterboxd reviews I am most proud of. So yeah, let's see if this review can be just as good as the review. So yeah. Just like a lot of my reviews, most of them will be adapted from my Letterboxd anyway. So let's get into this. Well, on the basis, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is pretty much better than Rise of the Planet of the Apes in every single aspect. Period. This does everything a sequel should do, and that is explore, and that is just grow your characters, go bigger with a plot. Well, of course, bigger doesn't mean better, but take it. I mean, what I meant to say is take it to another level. And with the change of director, you can clearly feel that this is so different from Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was just a very simple movie about a coming of age story of Caesar getting adopted by a human family, but then getting experimented on, but then learning the humans' true nature, and also the origin story of how Caesar created his Colony of Apes. It was a great and simple Colony of Apes story that didn't need to go big. That justifiably had that was justifiably small in scale, but oh no, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, we're going in the deep territory. Yeah, what Matt Pearson was able to pull off here is create a film that is so that is so relatable to humans. That delivers some inspiring message while also raising the stakes really higher and making the tone a lot different and much darker. Not to mention, this is a half an hour longer than the first one. The first being 1 hour 45 minutes. This one being like 30 minutes longer. Believe it or not, yeah, that says something. That says something. I mean, one thing I forgot to mention in Rise of the Planet of the Apes is how good the visuals are. Yeah, sorry, I do apologize for forgetting to talk about the visual effects, but yeah, I mean the VFX on the apes is absolutely groundbreaking. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's just so perfect. One of the greatest CGI designs I've ever seen, especially with Caesar. With Caesar, yeah. Not one of my favorite visual effects, but still very good. But yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes really upgrades its visuals to a whole new level. The CGI is excellent. Even though I wouldn't say this had my favorite visual effects of 2014, that would go to obviously Interstellar. I mean, it's freaking Christopher Nolan. But yeah, and the writing is really good too. Yeah, writing is really good too. I mean, and same goes for the character development. Yeah, the story about apes and humans are trying to protect themselves while clashing against each other. Such a great story, and even got great character development too. But what truly makes this movie made this movie stand out from the rest are the themes and messages that this movie conveys. Oh man, they're so good. Yeah, they're very good. So basically, the film's message is that no one is perfect. Not whether you're an animal or human, you're not perfect, and it's better to not compare yourselves to one another. I mean, just like how apes, with the animals would think that they're better than humans, but actually they're the same. We should actually think that way about the animals. We're not better than them. Like, we shouldn't say we're better than them. Like, we should just all accept the fact that we're all equal. We're equal. Yeah, whether if you're an ape, no matter if you're an ape or a human, you're not perfect. We humans, despite all the bad things we have done in our lives, have a choice to want to be overall a good person or a bad person. A bad person, it depends, but a good person does bad things along the way and then learns from his or her mistakes. That's real life, The same thing applies to apes, which is pretty much depicted in this film. Just like humans, just like with some humans, apes think they're perfect. Apes think that they're never bad. Apes believe that they never make mistakes. Yeah, he thinks that if you're an ape, you're good, but if you're a human, you're bad. That's what the apes believed in. But then we get Koba, which I'll talk about Caesar's character arc first, and then Koba. Yeah, because Caesar and Koba are completely have opposing sides to them. That make for a perfect conflict right here. Well, I would admit that War for the Planet of the Apes has the best character arc of Caesar. His arc in this film is also very well done. For the vast majority of the movie, Caesar believes that apes are perfect and humans are evil. He instantly judges a human he sees by claiming they're evil. By claiming they're evil. But when encountering Malcolm, Ellie, and Alexander, and as well as seeing Koba's true nature, Caesar learns that apes and humans are alike. Apes are not perfect, while humans aren't irredeemable. That is such a powerful message to take in. Koba Koba might be like on par with Caesar as my favorite ape, and he is without question the best character in this film. He makes he Koba is such a perfect villain. He such a perfect villain. He makes audiences feel sympathy for him while feeling hatred for him and hatred for him. While and a villain is this good when it makes you feel that way. I mean, when you look back at Koba's character in Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Koba was probably the most abused out of the apes. He had this disabled look on his face, and you see him being heavily tortured by humans. Yeah, and you can clearly see how much Koba hates humans. You really felt his suffering. And then his villain arc literally started in the beginning of at the end of Rise of the Planet of the Apes when Koba pushed Mr. Jacobs off the San Francisco bridge. Yes, he's a bad human, but I wonder if anyone actually noticed how if anyone like let's say Donald Davis is coming out tomorrow and we're analyzing Rise of the Planet of the Apes, or rather we don't know anything we didn't know anything about the second Planet of the Apes film yet, and and Rise is the only film in the trilogy so far. I wonder if people would have actually noticed. I wonder if we would have actually noticed that Koba pushing Jacobs off the San Francisco bridge is the start of his villain arc. If he would go down this path. Caesar showed mercy to Jacobs, but then Koba just straight up killed him. But of course with Donna, we all know what his intentions were. If you watch Rise and Donna apart, and then you feel bad for him, and Koba had so much real mental pain in him that he literally uses his pain for evil. Like he lets his scars define him. That's actually one message that this film conveys. Don't let your scars define who you are. You can still be a good person. Don't try to turn into the bad guy. Don't just try to turn into a bad guy just because you were hurt. This happened to some of my friends. I won't point out names. I don't want to. But I'll just say there were some of my friends. No, I'm not saying I would turn back on them. I'm still friends with them either way. I know they're still good in them, but their enemies on YouTube would attack them, would cyberbully them, and in return, he would literally villainize his enemy back, and as a result, that user has all his friends, well, not me, cut ties with him. So if you're watching this, you probably know who you are. But again, I'm not calling you out. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to me. Yes, objectively it's a bad thing, but I'm still friends with those people who did that. Who even me personally. I mean, I've been bullied, and I did villainize my bullies back to get revenge on them, and then I got hate because of that. That's actually why I love Koba, because he is just so relatable. His pain is almost similar to my pain as well. But even with with the fact that you'd feel sympathy for him, my God, you'd feel hate for him too, because the things that Koba does really goes too far. Yes, him killing humans, didn't mind, honestly. Koba just constantly killing random human species, well, that's villain. But he crosses the line when he literally tries to shoot Caesar. He shot Caesar in the arm. And then, he shot Caesar for two reasons. One, to make other apes think that a human shot Caesar, so that Koba can show that humans are actually bad. And two, so that Koba can actually take Caesar's place as the new leader of the apes, so that they can kill the humans. That is really unforgivable. Unforgivable, and he's so hated. Not hated in inequality. hated in a way that his actions are unforgivable, that his actions are pure evil. People hate him so much, well, for those reasons that they literally roast him on their books. Yeah, I've read reviews where they say, "Fuck Koba, all my homies hate Koba." Yeah, and that is a good villain right there. If people would say, if you'd also feel it's like they put themselves through the situation of what Koba did. It's like they were there when Koba villainized the humans. Yeah, that goes to show how much of a good villain he is. Yeah. And also, you also got really good characters from the humans. Dreyfus is another great villain. I like how he mirrors Koba, but on the human side, where he believes that apes are evil, and he wants to get rid of the apes. But then Malcolm is basically like the opposite. Malcolm is basically like the human version of Caesar, where like he believes that apes are actually good, but there are some bad apes to it too, and we're alive. But Dreyfus believed that apes are good, but humans are evil. And honestly, guys, I gotta say, and guys, honestly, I gotta say this. Dreyfus is probably Gary Oldman's best villain role. Yes, even over Lord Shen. Yes, there I said it. I'm not sure which. I'm not. I don't think it's my favorite. My personal favorite Gary Oldman role would be his name. Oh yeah, Commissioner Gordon from the Dark Knight trilogy. That would be my favorite Gary Oldman role. But oh yeah, and also Sirius Black from Prisoner of Azkaban as well, from the Harry Potter films. Those two are Gary Oldman's best roles in my opinion, but he's still excellent in this film. And so is Jason Clarke as well as Malcolm. He gave a really good performance, way better than that shitty role as John Connor in Terminator Genesis. Now, I will say this though, I don't hate Terminator Genesis. I don't think, but I think I don't think Terminator Genesis is that bad. In fact, I think Terminator Genesis is overhated. Despite not being a legitimately good film, I think it is overhated. But I fucking hate Jason Clarke as John Connor. I will say that. Fuck that. Fuck Jason Clarke as John Connor in the ass. And yeah, same goes for Jason Clarke isn't the only the actor here who followed his career up with a terrible performance, because from playing one of the best villains of the 2010s Koba, he went on to play one of the worst. He followed this up with Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four. Yeah, poor Toby Kebbell, man. What the fuck? And yes, unlike Terminator Genesis, where I will admit that it's not that bad, Fan Stick on the other hand, yeah, it is that bad. And yes, guys, I am actually going to rant on Fan Stick this year. I am actually very motivated to, and also to review the original Fantastic Four, maybe in July, I guess. So yeah, and I think both Malcolm's a really good character. I also really like Alexander as well, despite he's probably the weakest part of the film, because he doesn't really speak that much, and he didn't do much in this film, I guess. But yeah, but tied with Koba, my favorite character in this film is Ellie, Carrie Russell's character. I didn't know that May in King of Planet of the Apes will be my new favorite human character, but right now Ellie from this film is my favorite. I mean, she's probably the most compassionate and loyal to these apes, even more. I mean, she's literally the one who helped Caesar. I mean, with his wounds, she heals Caesar, and yeah, she's just the most likable, the most sweet, and she's my Planet of the Apes crush. Well, I mean, my crush of the original trilogy. I mean, May is already although May has already dethroned Ellie as my favorite, as my Planet of the Apes crush. No denying about that. So she's easily Ellie's the best character of the Planet of the Apes trilogy, no doubt about that, by far. And on top of the complex, on top of everything I just said, I think another thing that truly sets this film apart from the other Planet of the Apes films is how high the how high the stakes are. Normally, these Planet of the Apes films would have a bit of a smaller scale to them. They, in a sense, that they wouldn't really have a lot of action, and they actually focus more on the coming of age vibes between the humans with the apes. Even War for the Planet of the Apes was like some sort of a coming of age stories and slow burn. But this is different. This is a big movie, and I mean the biggest in scale this franchise has ever gotten. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, they raised the stakes really high, which is something you don't see in this franchise. The action scenes are so massive in scale, and it's legit an all-out war. Throughout the movie, action or not, I was so sucked into this movie. And not once did I ever turn this film away. Even the first act, even the first half of the film, it's kind a bit slow, but I never felt a slow pace. I mean, it actually made sense because, the world is the world is stuck with a virus. Caesar and the apes are trying to protect themselves from their colony from the humans. It's like an inner conflict between apes and humans until they started going into outside forces and into the war. Yeah, I was still engaged. Not once did I ever feel bored. I think these Planet of the Apes films are perfect examples of slow burn done right, because usually it's not hard for slow burn films to get it's not hard for them to get boring, but these films show you how these films have proved that slow burn films can actually work. So if you're not a cinephile and you want to learn how to appreciate slow burn films, then I think Dawn and War is the way to go. It's the way to start. But man, yeah, but the second half is really what makes this film truly special. The all-out war. I mean, there are so many scenes in the film that really gets under my skin. Like that really got under my skin, especially with the Koba scenes. Like Koba killing those two men with the guns before proceeding to kill Caesar using that human gun to accuse the humans of killing Caesar. Then it's and there's a scene in the film that really haunted me. Basically when this random truck driver guy was just there, and then Koba just literally stalled him, like creeping him over, and then grabbed them, threw him out of the truck and smashed him. Yeah, it is done in such a creepy way. Despite it's been done in a lot of movies where a person would just throw another person off the truck and then kill him. But that war scene between and when the war actually started between the humans and the apes led by Koba, it is something. And heck guys, and one of my favorite scenes in the film, probably one of the most unsettling scenes in the film, was when Koba literally killed one of Caesar's one of Caesar's most loyal followers. I forgot the name of that ape, but if you're a bigger Planet of the Apes fan than me, you probably know the ape very well. Koba literally grabs that ape. When the ape who said that Caesar would not want wouldn't want this, he grabs the ape, runs to the top of the stairs and throws him off the roof. Throws him to the ground floor from the second floor, killing him. Damn, that is so brutal right there. And and the final battle between Caesar and Koba. And it is so brutal, man. Especially with Caesar constantly hitting Koba on the waist, which is his weakness. Oh man. And remember when I said that the rest of the Planet of the Apes had the best dialogue in the trilogy? I take that back. Dawn has more iconic lines, more memorable lines. Like for example, I'll name my favorite quotes in the film. Apes do not want war. Human live there, ape live there, leave us alone. And there was also the Caesar's dead. We go to war with humans. War for Caesar, like something like that. I forgot exactly what he said. But then Caesar. But then we get to the greatest line in the Planet of the Apes films, and I mean the true greatest. It's not no from Rice. It's apes together, strong. Yeah. Why did I not recognize that as the most iconic Planet of the Apes quote? I mean that really that really is that's probably the most important quote that when it comes to building your characters. And yes, building characters. Yeah, yeah, and also by the way, the cinematography is amazing as well. I absolutely love the cinematography. My only nitpick with the film is the title. The titles. I mean, now the thing is that with the actual war going on in this film, this actually feels like the actual war for the Planet of the Apes. So now, I'm not saying that as a problem with War for the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes, because I will say, unlike some idiots who don't have good attention span, I actually understand why the third film was called War for the Planet of the Apes. But that doesn't change the fact that I could actually come up with a better title for these films. I mean, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is probably the best title, the best Planet of the Apes title, because it actually is the most fitting to the concept of the film. Dawn is a decent title too, I would say, but this should have been called War for the Planet of the Apes, because this is literally the war film right here. And the third film, I think a more fitting title that will probably make everybody understand without needs of metaphors is The Fate of the Planet of the Apes. Or maybe just Fate of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, because the film War for the Planet, the third film, is about Caesar's fate. I'll discuss more about that when I review War for the Planet of the Apes. So overall, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is without question the best in the trilogy and the best Planet of the Apes film. We'll see if Kingdom of Planet of the Apes comes out. Yeah, this is the most gripping, intense, powerful, and emotional scenes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the scene with Caesar in his old home from Rice, his old abandoned home. Oh man, that is so emotional. One of my absolute favorite moments in the film, and one of my absolute favorite Caesar moments. It is certainly one of my favorite movies of 2014. Heck, this would actually now be in my top 5 favorite movies of 2014. Yes, I still think Interstellar is my favorite movie 2014, but this is certainly now in my top 5. I am not kidding. So with that said, I'm going to give Dawn of the Planet of the Apes 5 stars out of 5. Best Planet of the Apes movie ever. Will Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes top this? Well, I'll just say this. You'll find out tomorrow. And yes, guys, I am seeing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes tomorrow. I'm so excited. So yeah, what are your thoughts on Dawn of the Planet of the Apes? Would you agree with me that this is the best Planet of the Apes film? Or do you still have, or are you one of those people who thinks that War is better? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on War for the Planet of the Apes. Despite I'm seeing Kingdom tomorrow, yes, I will still get the time to review War for the Planet of the Apes for sure. Hopefully tonight, I'll get to record my review and post it before I sleep. But it depends on what time I finish rewatching War for the Planet of the Apes. If not, then tomorrow morning. A couple of hours before I go see Kingdom. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned. And you already know what review I'm doing next. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. No, sorry, War for the Planet of the Apes. My bad. So yeah, bye guys.